V'imru
amen. So if we wanted to know who we are as Jewish people, Ben Gurion said it best. The Bible bequeathed to our people, and through it to all humanity, sublime human values, the value of human brotherhood, the values of justice and righteousness, truth and kindness, the equality of nations and peace, that there are the essence of the prophetic teaching and the morality. That's who we are. And that's why these things matter. And that's what happens when we show up and we do and we act in ways that make us the exemplar for how people should behave. And it's not just us, it's the whole world's inheritance. The rabbis thousands of years ago told us that the Torah was given at Sinai because nobody owns Sinai. And it's interesting, it says especially Israel. It's in the text 2,000 years ago. Okay? So that we can never say, oh, it's all about us, it's only ours. Even the late Rebbe, Menachem Schneerson, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, in a book published posthumously, Towards a Meaningful Life, said that the Torah is the inheritance of everybody. The difference is in how we use it, and we see it through the world. And so ultimately, that may call into question the words Asher Bachar Banu, which we say at the beginning of the Torah, so who's chosen us. Because Israel's chosen, and Judah is 1/12 of all Israel. And Israel means people of faith. And that's been something that our people, our rabbis, have affirmed for thousands of years. It's derech eretz. It's the way that the world is supposed to happen. And we teach that by the way we respond with each other and the way we take care of each other. And there's a great study on exactly that in this week's Torah portion. So Abraham is old. Sarah has already passed. They've already had the transaction with Ephron, and they've bought the cave at Machpelah, and we're now in chapter 24 of Genesis, new story. And so Abraham says to his servant Eliezer, he says, you know, I'm really old, and Isaac doesn't have a wife, and by the way, if you pay attention to the Torah, Isaac's not talking to me anymore. The Binding of Isaac's story, you know, it's a whole other thing. But I need to make sure he gets a wife. And I need to get him a wife, not from the Canaanites or the Hittites, the people I'm living around. I need to go back to where I know these people, back to the homeland. And so he sends Eliezer on this journey, and Eliezer offers this prayer to God. And he says, God, I have no idea who I'm looking for, but when I get to the well with my camels, let someone come out and say, can I give you water, and can I water your camels also? And that will be the sign that she's the one. Well, he gets to the well, and no sooner does he reiterate this prayer when Rebecca comes out, and she says exactly that. And she gives him water, and she gives the camels water, and it's great. But water for camels, how long does it take a camel to fill up on water? I mean, this water carries them the entire journey across the wilderness. So this isn't a 5-minute sip, right? It takes a while to lap up all of that. And so it's interesting, the text says that Eliezer doesn't immediately say, Rebecca, you're the one. He doesn't know her name yet, you know, and give her all the jewels, because that's what he's instructed to do, is give her all of the enticements to come with him. And he waits until the camels have finished drinking. Now, I know for some people it's like, and so? But rabbis, you know, deal with this stuff. And I think it's really kind of poignant that what was Eliezer doing while Rebecca is going from camel to making sure that each camel gets full with water? So the argument that the rabbis will raise is that he was observing. Not gawking, but at what point would Rebecca turn to him and say, are you going to say thank you? At what point would she demonstrate that she expected something out of it? Here's this guy dripping in jewels, and she wasn't eyeing the jewels, and she wasn't eyeing the gold. she was taking care of the camels. And it's only after that he engaged her and she welcomed him back to her father's home, and she said yes. And so there's an example here of what's at stake when we talk about derech eretz. How often do we do things for people and we wait for a thank you, or we do something and expect a return? We show up so they have to show up, as opposed to doing things because it's the right thing to do. How many of us have given gifts and then gotten disappointed when we didn't get the thank you card timely? Well, did we give the gift because we expected the thank you card, or did we give the gift because we gave the gift? You know, when we walk through this world and we take care of each other, it's not because we're expecting somebody to put more marks on our good person column. Okay? We do this work because it's who we are. And we're blessed to have a community that teaches our kids from the youngest to do just that. Something we can't ever take for granted. And in this crazy world of COVID, where we have so disengaged and where the world has gone crazy, you know, we have to be the ones to say Hineni. Here I am, and this is who I am, and this is what we do. And as the world is now reopening, we need to make sure that we're there. We've been so involved in organizations like Family Promise, and then the mission stopped because we could no longer be with people in the churches. They couldn't house people because no one could open their buildings. So thank you for the affirmation. But now as we're finding new ways to come back into this world, and we're finding more and more people are being left behind, it can't be that we wait for the next social action meeting to take a stand. It can't wait until it comes to us. From the most prophetic words in Torah, tzedek, tzedek, tir dof. Righteousness, righteousness, you must pursue it. We've got to keep our eyes and our ears and our hearts open, because we'll see, if we're paying attention, where the needs are. And we don't wait to be asked to show up, and we don't ask for the thanks because we were there. The fact that our community and our world is more whole is more than thanks enough. So thank you, Rebecca, for that lesson of greatness and graciousness. And may we live that legacy as we move forward. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to continue with the Torah service. Zu Sharim can be found on page 364, I believe. And if you would please rise.
Zu Sharim Rashechem Usu Pitchei Noam V'yavo Melech HaKavod Mi'uze Melech HaKavod Adonai Tzvaot U'melech HaKavod Selah U'melech HaKavod Selah Selah Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Lecha Adonai Hagidula v'hagivura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod ki chol
Please be seated.
b'shamayim v'aretz ki chol b'shamayim v'aretz lecha Adonai hamamlacha ועמית נעשה לכל לראש.
Technology is everything, you know?
Joy.
So, Sam is actually going to be reading Torah, and I'm going to take the opportunity now, and I'll do it again later. Sam Goodman, Eva Zackel, thank you so much for providing music. Talented people, devoted people, and if you can imagine having a fun Zoom call planning a service. It was good. So, but Sam, you're going to read Torah. We're reading from Parshat Chayei Sarah, the beginning of it. In the red Plout commentary, you can find the English translation of what he's going to be reading on page 156, I believe. Okay? And we're going to ask Ellen Goldberg to come up and do the Aliyah tonight. Okay, so Ellen, you need this.
Thank you. Baruch et Adonai Hamvarah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayihiyu chayei Sarah me'ah shana v'esrim shana v'sheva shanim shnei chayei Sarah v'tamat Sarah b'kirbat arba hiv Hevron be'eretz Ke'anan Vayevo Avraham lispod lisara v'liv kota Vayikom Avraham me'al pnei meto v'daver el bnei chet lemor Ger v'toshav anochi imachem tanu lihi achuzat kever imachem v'kbara metai melifnei.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah temet v'chayei olam nata betochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Please rise.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe.
Sarah lived 100 years and 20 years and 7 years. The Torah doesn't say she lived 127 because we know that we all have different periods in our lives that are marked by landmark events in history and moments in our own traverse across our lives. And some of those times are marked by joy and celebration. We pray most of them are. And sometimes they're marked by need for healing and restoration. we lose people that we love. We are suffering from illnesses or injuries. Nature takes hold. And certainly the inhumanity that we occasion upon each other is devastating. And so we have a prayer of healing and restoration to remind us that we pray that the illness and the injuries and the losses are stages in life, but not all-encompassing in life. And we ask God to make us instruments of healing. We're thinking of so many people in this world, and specifically members in our community, in our congregation, family. Rabbi Robert Orach, James Appio, Vicki Bernstein, Michael Marks, Scott Klein, Bobby Goldstein, Nancy Baskin, and Eileen High. And if there's other people that we're holding in prayer, please share their names.
Sandra Goldberg.
Donald Bach.
Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. God, help us bring people into restoration.
Mi sheberach avoteinu mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We're going to return the Torah to the Ark. Eitz Chaim's, I believe, on 374, and immediately following, Aleinu is on 586.
Shamayim v'yoser aretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim imahal, u'shchina tuzo v'govhe meromim, u'Eloheinu einod, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamachim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'nemar, v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
People leave our hands but never our hearts. They continue to walk with us and grow with us. And even years later, as we recall their impact on our lives, they teach us new lessons. And so this week, we think of those who have left their earthly course this week and years past. Their impact continues to grow our congregation and our families. We're thinking of Lola Baum, Fruma Bernstein, Bertha Bregman, Jess Cohen, Matilda Eisen, Harry Fryman, Sally Gale, Ruth Greenwald, Patricia A. Hallard, Lenny Horowitz, Henry Jacoby, Becky Jaffe, William Joseph, Dr. Bertram Caswiner, Milton Cosine, Maurice Meyer, Fanny Obstgarten, Bernard Pesco, Paulina Plexina, Carolyn Schindler, Elaine Sherman, Regina Sherman, Fanny Silverman, Ida Steinberger, George Weinberg, Tess Weiss. Are there other annual Yortzites being observed tonight?
Sherman Margolis, Abraham Greenberg.
We are in Shloshim for Larry Weinstein, Courtney Cox, Gerald Francis. And just yesterday, we lost Elaine Rothman and Lois Wilkes. Zichronam livracha. May the memories that they leave us lead us to blessing. Page 598. And find the words of Kaddish. Please join me. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabba. Be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chai echon of yom echon. Uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. V'agalau v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal. Shemei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'la min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Ta'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Please be seated, except for you.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Wayne Howard, and on behalf of Monmouth Reformed Temple, I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us tonight, both in the sanctuary and virtually on our live stream. We have some announcements, which else is new. Check the weekly e-blasts for more information on the following events. Torah study tomorrow is at 9:30 a.m. On Tuesday, November 9th, at 7:30, join us on a Zoom for a Crystal Mock observance and presentation from special guest speaker Louis Schmidt and the Shoah Project. This is part of our Seeing Human Through a Jewish Lens program series. RSVP to Magda Reyes by November 7th. Lunch break has an immediate as well as ongoing donation needs to assist individuals who are homeless. Donations can be dropped off at any time in the labeled bins by the front door of MRT or in the coat room during office hours. We are collecting men and women's hats that are knitted and crocheted as part of our annual gift collections for Family Resources Association. Contact Maddie Kelb if you're interested. MRT is also, again, collecting old and new bicycle helmets for Shine a Light. A collection bin is outside the front door of MRT. Contact Dean Ross with any questions. Our October Tzedakah collection is supporting the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society. HIAS is a Jewish American nonprofit organization that provides humanitarian aid and assistance to refugees. For more than 130 years, HIAS has been helping refugees rebuild their lives in safety and dignity. For the protection of our MRT family, please stay home if you feel sick or believe you have been exposed to COVID. Our synagogue continues to engage together in meaningful ways. We would love for more people to invest in our mission of helping others and connecting as a Jewish community. We welcome your investment and gift to help us continue to grow. For information on joining our MRT family or making a donation, please contact Jordana Steinberg in our office or visit our website, www.monmouthreformtemple.org. Rabbi and Cantor are always also available. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Wayne. Wayne's also always available because he's always here. So, just a quick note on the Shine a Light program. About 7 years ago, Dean Ross came and said, I've got this great idea. People ride their bikes home from their jobs late at night throughout Red Bank. And it's dark, and there's a lot of bike accidents. So why don't we put lights on these bikes? For 7 years, and now several hundred bikes now are equipped with lights that we put on, and we give out helmets and other safety equipment as well. And now it's been so successful that the Red Bank Police Department has gotten involved in it as well. And so that's an idea, can spark a huge difference. So if you've got an idea, folks, you know, we had a couple years ago, some people came in with this idea that we should have a vegan committee. Well, that vegan committee is regularly meeting. That vegan committee sponsored last year's Tu B'Shvat Seder, provided vegan meals at our cookout. Anybody here, there is still vegan cheesecake if you want one in the freezer. Delicious. So, you know, this is a community that welcomes all of these great opportunities, so please. And that's really why Shabbat here is a community, whether it's virtual or live, is so special. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom. How beautiful is this Sabbath day, this opportunity to be together. We're at the bottom of page 634.
And we're going to try something. Not sure how well it'll work, but we'll try it anyway.
The room is this side heavy. I'm not sure about that.
Yes, it is. So I'm thinking maybe we'll try front of the room, back of the room.
You're the chazan tonight.
Okay. So, what's that? Yeah, okay, Pops. If you could move over a touch.
This side.
Yep. So Ma Yafeh Hayom works kind of, it can work as a round, and that's what we're going to try to do tonight. So we'll sing it once through together, and then if this side could continue back on the Ma Yafeh Hayom part, we'll say singing Shabbat Shalom, and then we'll switch.
And
So,
Wayne, who sings in our choir, is going to lead this side.
Oh, good.
Cool.
Perfect. There you go.
all right. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. You do Ma Yafeh.
Ma yafeh
Shabbat
hayom.
Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafe hayom. Shabbat shalom.
You're safe on that hand?
Thank you, Wayne.
Just not on,
I
just
think
not
that
on
worked.
That worked great.
a little.
Ava and Sam, thank you so much for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for being here. May this day be one of respite, one of restoration, one of healing. May we find ourselves looking into each other's eyes here and as we leave and walk through the world and truly see God staring back at us. May we find ourselves able to hear and listen and hold people with whom we disagree and remind ourselves that we're all human first. And that the most crucial, most important piece in rebuilding the world. And so with that, your last task is Motzi. How about it?
I want the kids to come up.
Okay,
Here comes Jack.
but
Jack's
you
like,
still
I
get
got
to sing it.
Okay.
With him. Come on. Graham, come on. To the-
Jack's like, this is my part.
Okay. So, okay, guys. So, join Sam in singing Motzi, okay?
All right. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices join in song together as our joyful prayer is sung. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Okay, now eat.
Whoops. Okay.
Oh, man.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Good job, guys. 5 seconds.
It's still good. Okay. So,
I'm right behind you, right behind you. There we go.
thank you, sir.
And for our music accompanist,
Oh,
would
thank
you
you.
like some?
Yes, thank you.
Sam, Eva, thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, only a couple of little sour notes. It's not so bad for me.